In the world of thrift, I know we all talk about how old things become new things. Well, I'm going to share with you how something old is going to become something new. And now don't bash me over the head when I share it, but just keep in mind the vision of it all. My name is Jamela. Thank you again for tuning in for another episode of Living the Lifestyle of the Thrift and Famous. And of course, you know I am glad you're here. A friend of mine came to town, so we was in Charlotte area and we decided to do some thrifting at the Salvation Army. And I have to admit, Charlotte got it is like a mecca when it comes to thrift finds. I mean, that cabinet and the nightstand was so cheap. I loved it. And then we popped into this store. It was a antique store, and I love that vintage art and some other pieces they had in there. And as a matter of fact, I said I'm definitely going to come back to this particular store because they had a lot of interesting art in china and dishes and just rare pieces that I've never seen, like this desk here. I love this writing desk, and if I didn't already have one, trust me, this was going to come home with me because the style of this writing desk is absolutely beautiful. The wood tones, I can't go on and on about this piece here, but again, I wasn't there to buy furniture, but God knows it really called me. And I saw this table here. I love that. I thought of my son's dining room when I did it, and his tulip table. I thought that would be a nice side table to add to his dining room. And I fell in love with this piece of art that I'm very seriously thinking to go back and get. And the name of this shop was called The Clearinghouse, and it's almost like I think it's like a consignment shop, but so many interesting art pieces and great selection of all kind of home decor items. And then I spotted this Audubon picture, and that was $2,500, and I'm not sure why it was so expensive, and the light fixtures were pretty nice, and I thought they were pretty fairly priced. But and then of course the glassware, you know, I always got to pop in to take a look at what's there. And this amber glass set had my heart, but I did not walk out that store with them. And then this cabinet here, this was a server, like a buffet or a bar cabinet, very nice, and that was only $40 with the side table. Now, enough about my thrifting escapade. Let's move on to what I'm really going to talk about, what I thrifted. Now, if you all remember, last year I talked about thrifting a house that we bought, and this was a $3,500 house that kind of fell into our laps, and we rehabbed it and went through the whole ordeal of, you know, getting it all together and gutting it, cleaning it, and preparing it for a rental property. Now, it was not an easy task in the beginning because, you know, at one time we were, I'm going to say, a contractor we work with just disappeared, but that's neither here nor there. It didn't stop us from moving forward. It just put a little monkey wrench in it, but that's okay because we did finally find someone to continue with rehabbing the house, and we weren't in too deep over the loss, but we did manage to finish it and get it done. And thank God we did. And again, you know, I always go back to my father's 3 words to, you know, me and my sister when we got into rental property. And his words to us on our first home was, "It's still standing." So with those words, we took on our first rehab project, and we were 23 years old and have been homeowners ever since. So with those three words in mind, we've always kept that as our, I want to say, our words of advice, our words of wisdom, and then our grandfather always said that, everybody's got to have a place to live. So real estate or home ownership or owning rental properties was always a good investment. So standing on the grounds of their words, we persevered with this one along with the other 5 houses that we do have. And I remember wanting to give it up, but I changed my mind and swallowed it down and said, let's move on. So, needless to say, I thrifted another house. Yeah, this one fell into my lap again, and it was $1,700. And my sister, I know, had some words for me to say, but when I came across this clip,
that damn girl is out of control. She is. I don't even know if she can be stopped. Okay? I don't know. Because
she thought I was a little bit crazy and reminded me, Kim, you did want to give it up, but yet we swallowed it down and realized this house needed to be saved. It's not a matter of want or need on our end, but we own 2 other houses on this block. And looking at it for years and years, sitting and getting worse and worse, I felt that since it fell into our lap, it was just meant to be that maybe God said, if anybody can do it, you can do it. So maybe that's the reason why it came the way it came. But I have a vision for it, and I believe that this will be one beautiful home once it's done. No doubt it's going to take some blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of money, but it can be done. Our very first house that we bought, it was a 3-family house, and the 3rd floor caught fire, so there was no roof. It was all burnt up. 3rd floor was completely burnt, and the 2nd floor suffered water damage, and the 1st floor was just barely livable. But we got that house together, and we stayed in that house for many, many years. So with that in mind, and like I said, my father's words were, it's still standing. This house is still standing. And the house is pretty solid when you go inside. Above all, there's no mold because there's a lot of ventilation that was going through the house. So that's a good thing too. So we did get the backyard cleaned up and raised and evened out. Got that tree off the house. And that was the first things that we've done so far. But just having all of that cleaned up made a big difference. No doubt this is going to be a long process, a few months. But I am going to be sharing its progress on my channel here. So I hope you stick around for this new project house rehab. But in the meantime, yes, this is what your girl has been busy doing or up to, and focusing her mind on instead of out spending thrifting. Okay. But I do get my therapy in when I need it. But yeah, right now I'm going to focus a lot on getting this house back in order, back in shape. And there you have it. And that was my news I wanted to share. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for tuning in, because remember, beauty is being home and loving it. And we are in for a journey to create another home for someone to love. So tell me in the comments section, what do you think? Would you have taken the plunge, or are you excited about me with this new venture? Let me know. Don't forget to like and share, and I'll see you again. And try not to be too hurtful, because I tend to be slightly sensitive on my visions, okay? Bye.